Appreciate you watching, by the way. This is Hal Sparks, Mega Worldwide, and I appreciate you guys supporting the show. Patreon.com/Hal Sparks. Don't forget Venmo to help us buy a new computer, and Super Chats and all that to make sure that I can actually eat and live. And you can subscribe as well. Memberships and subscriptions and all that stuff. I'm trying to get better at this shit, and I'm just terrible at it, but just work with me. Now, I thought at some point, I mean, you can go to a newbie, I suppose, like the somebody who's been working for a long time, or you can go to somebody who's been in the broadcast industry for a long time and get the lessons there. Because I could go to, Greg's been around a little while, but it's mostly like, local morning daytime TV, and not a slam on those folks, but it's not like hard-hitting reporting. Let's just say, if I do say so my damn self. So in this particular instance, maybe we go to one of the old dogs, and at the same time, I think in this clip, we will be able to figure out not only what he's thinking, but what you're thinking, what I'm thinking. We have had a talk recently about what progressive or liberal means to us. And to me, a progressive means anybody who is committed to progress. Not all or nothing, not purity tests, nothing. The whole point is get a toehold and maintain it and keep climbing. And it's to, basically Star Trek liberals. That's what progressive is to me. Now, there's a difference in opinion of what a progressive is, and some progressives won't describe themselves that way. And apparently, though, there's a lot of, I don't know if these are secret progressives or just progressives with secrets. Is there a I don't know, is there a difference? Do we know? Can we know? Yeah, true progressive knows that any progress is better than no progress. I agree. So what you're saying is that no one at TYT is a progressive in that respect. Gotcha. I agree. Here we go. Now, you'll remember this guy right here. This is Bill O'Reilly. He's got a show called No Spin, because he's always had the no spin zone, right? What he talks about, where he spins a lot of bullshit. Actually, he makes shit thread, I think, for a living now. And he's obviously doing a Soros piece, and there's a blue donkey, so obviously it's Democrats no matter what. So so donkeys are Soros, Soros are donkeys, Democrats are progressives. Okay, let's hear it. I'm curious
Tonight,
about this.
We'll begin with the danger posed by the progressive movement in this country.
Okay, the danger. You're in. Gotcha. Okay, danger. I feel the danger. Okay, here we go.
That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo.
Great. Super exciting.
First of all, not all Democrats or liberals are progressives.
Right. Sure.
So people don't know the difference, and they lump.
Yeah, especially when you fart in your own studio. Sorry, say that again.
Are progressives. So people don't know the difference, and they lump everybody in the same bowl of soup, but they're.
It's a great graphic, by the way. Fiverr, I salute you. Really good typeface choice, the spacing, his ass, the kind of big chunks of empty space, the weird glistening thing that goes across. It's quality. You get paid good money for that graphics package. I'm glad you're using it.
Not a progressive person is someone who believes America is not a good country.
Okay, well then I guess that would make me not a progressive. I don't know if I can judge things, because I do think America is a good country. I think you can see its flaws and improve it. And the fact that we have the ability to redress our government, our grievances against the government, and deal with them and elect new people and change the law and grow the country. That's the best thing about it in a lot of ways. I think it's inherently good because of that very thing. So, I mean, say what you will, but we ended slavery in this country in 1854, and it wasn't outlawed in I think in the west coast of Africa till 1907, and that was by force. So, America, congratulations, you're ahead of the curve. Now, have we gotten over all of our shit? No. but we're working on it. I think that's a good thing.
It's fundamentally flawed. Goes
Mhm.
all the way back to the founding fathers, who the progressives believe were white supremacists.
Well, no, I mean, I don't know that all progressives believe that, but I understand what you're going at.
Based on slavery and a number of other things. Okay, so if you're a
And what were the other things? Because I think the slavery would be the one where they would actually put a pin in it and think that, even though 50, half the people that signed the Declaration of Independence, for example, weren't slave owners at the time and were against it. And Jefferson himself, while owning slaves, wrote some of the legal basis for ending slavery that led to it being outlawed in England, even in, I believe, it's 1806, 1807, 1806, 1807, because outlawed in Africa in 1906. So it was 99 years. It wasn't a full 100 years was the difference. So he wrote some of the legal arguments for outlawing slavery in the process. The problem is if somebody like Jefferson just sets his slaves loose at that time in American history, when the South was, itching to break away, or there was a plantation culture, those people would just be taken. So they were safer there than somewhere else, and the treatment was different all around the country. Right. Okay.
progressive American, you want a wholesale change in this country. You want to wipe out most traditional values.
We want to wipe out most traditional values. What would those traditional values be? I mean, the idea that women can't vote because they have intrinsic characteristics that make them incapable of understanding the depth of the complex issues or whatever. Yeah, that can go. I'm fine with that. Also, again, slavery was a traditional value, and we fought a war over it, dum-dum.
That's the difference.
Okay, great. You're not going to cite any of these things?
There are liberals who don't like conservative principles or whatever, but...
Like what? Which ones would you be talking about? You're talking about there in that situation. What principles would... Nah, you know what? We're just going to say principles and just go with everybody understands that his audience thinks conservative principles good, democratic principles bad, and then that way you don't even have to argue your principles or argue the fact that you don't actually fucking have them. All right.
They don't want to wipe out everything.
No, not. We don't want to start from scratch.
Progressive movement does.
Okay, so it's an even smaller movement than we think it is.
Now, the reason the progressive movement has taken over the Democratic Party...
Citation needed.
And it has.
No, it hasn't.
And they have the perfect president in Biden, who is so hapless, H-A-P-L-E-S-S.
Oh, you pronounce it hapless?
He'll do anything the progressives tell him to do.
Well, then why did he separate the infrastructure bill from what would become the major parts of the Inflation Reduction Act? I would say Biden is a genuine progressive in the descriptive I would use, which is the point is progress. He's not a far-right leftist, let's say.
Because Biden has no principles, no values, no belief system.
Yes, that's why he sets fire to a child every night just to guarantee he has a good night's sleep. It's a ritual, but it keeps him from being bored. He has no values. He doesn't go to church. Oh shit, he doesn't. He hops from woman to woman as soon as his wife. Oh shit.
He's a man for no seasons.
All right, and that's he's using a literary phrase in a meaningless way.
The reason that the
you know what? I left something out. I forgot to. We should preface this just so you know what kind of judgment we're getting here. This man, apparently had to pay a woman $33 million to not file charges or tell people what he did to her in terms of sexual violence. So the extremity of the sexual violence that this man engaged in with this woman was so bad, he had to pay her $33 million for her silence. Fox had already paid her 9 or something like that, allegedly. Again, these are all under NDAs, so nobody can say. And they kicked him to the curb when they were sick of paying off people that he was sadistically sexual with. So I would say, as my mom would say when I was a kid, consider the source.
Progressives have taken control of the Democratic Party.
Nope.
It's money.
Not the kind that you're talking. Hold on, what?
The reason that the progressives have taken control of the Democratic Party is money.
I say it's the worst fucking kind of commies. Those commies that are into money are the worst.
You all know George Soros. You all know hundreds of millions of dollars that he pumps in to help progressive candidates all over the country. You might know about Mark Zuckerberg, the internet.
So are all the people you're going to be citing Jewish, or is that just a coincidence? Never mind.
Baron, who pumped $400 million into the 2020 presidential election, and nobody knows where that money went. Or
yes, they do. It went through the election systems of the states as a donation to them to purchase voting machines and drop boxes and materials for sending ballots out, and the costs of all the ancillary sort of official costs that they may not have been able to afford in poorer counties to make sure that everybody knows where, when, and how they can vote during a fucking pandemic. It's exactly where it went. All over the fucking country. It's not even a mystery.
What it did. That's the big election scandal.
No, it's not even close.
That's what Trump and his acolytes should have been zeroing in on, rather than a dopey voting machines.
Rather than the dopey voting machines. And I don't know why he cut off his tour with this guy. You know, Trump and Bill O'Reilly, remember they were going to go on a big national truth tour? They did 2 half-filled venues and called it a day. I don't know why. How did that happen?
Zuckerberg put $400 million into selected counties through political action committees.
No, through the states themselves.
To do what?
To pay for them to produce and advertise drop boxes and buy more voting machines so that there wouldn't be, like in a highly populated black county, 8 machines and 6 of them are broken. And in a moderately or small population white district, there would be 75 machines and they all work. That kind of imbalance. I'm exaggerating for comic effect, but you get my point.
Where's that money?
It was spent. And well, actually.
Who got it?
The states.
No investigation.
Why would you need one? They audit their own state's books.
At all. First thing a Republican president should do is put a special counsel on the 2020 election with Zuckerberg as number 1.
Yeah, just go after the anybody with Berg on the end of their name, right? We're just going to go straight there. I'm fucking around.
Okay. There are other progressives that you don't know. A man.
Yeah, well, how could I not know them? Obviously, they send me checks.
Named Fred Eichaner, chairman.
Oh, this is going to be good. This is like when Trump reads.
Chairman of NewsWeb, whatever that is. Carla Jurvetson, physician in Los Altos, California. These.
What the fuck? Who cares?
These are multi-millionaires.
Good for them.
That donate millions and millions of dollars to progressive causes.
And
there are legion of them.
Ah, they are legion. Where have I heard that phrase before? Who says, I am legion, right before they vomit green stuff out of a child's mouth in an exorcism movie? I can't think. It's somebody, Bill something, or Bill Z, I don't remember.
So if you are Alvin Bragg in New York City, Kim Fox in Chicago.
I see. So the Jews are buying black foot soldiers. They're just doing it in the justice system now. Is that where we're going with this, Bill? That's the angle you're going to take? Because stick to that one. I don't know. I don't think you're going to buy your way back into the hearts of America with this kind of talk.
On and on. The prosecutors that won't enforce the law, chances are progressive money puts you in that job. Okay.
Or voters. Also, voters have a say. Also, voters. I mean, because you can't actually buy the seat. You can't actually. Voters still have to vote for you. And in these particular cases where you're complaining about, if you're worried about money in politics, you got bigger fish to fry, fucko.
The next thing is open borders.
Okay.
That's huge for the progressive movement. Because
is it?
As I said, they believe that.
What? Wait. If the progressives are who you say they are, and this has always been very confusing to me, they hate America. They think America is fundamentally racist and dangerous and awful and is the source of all the bad in the world. Why would you want people of color to actually come into this country then? Wouldn't that be itself an act of cruelty towards these folks? What are you trying to do? Get them killed?
The country is run by corrupt, white, racist men.
That is the current storyline about the Biden family, for the record, from the right.
That's what they believe.
That's what you believe. That's actually specifically what you believe. Not in the abstract, not like white people bad, this boogeyman of race, reverse racism you fear. But you actually, seriously, you're talking about how you guys talk about Biden.
They want to flood the zone with millions of foreign nationals.
Foreign nationals. Yep, they're the worst.
Who would vote against, theoretically,
in 10 years, if they choose to become citizens and aren't arrested at some point for crossing the border illegally and get a chance to become citizens by some sort of amnesty. I don't know if there's another Reagan coming along, but anyways, go ahead.
Those white men. That's what's coming in. That's why they want an open border.
See, I heard it's 164 different countries, and Chinese people are paying $80,000 a pop to cross the border, according to Benny Johnson's schlockumentary.
Change the power structure. Not going to happen overnight, but it will happen eventually. They believe, the progressive.
Okay, this is the great replacement theory. Can you please play Ron Paul stroking out and compare? I don't know. I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen that.
So believe. That's why
is that new?
You have open borders. Okay.
We don't have open borders. By the way, the border's not open. The border is not open.
Okay. To diminish religion.
I would blame that on the people who don't live up to the actual standards of those religions, because nothing turns people away from a religion like bad practitioners of it.
By making organized religion seem corrupt.
Seem corrupt. That's right. Oh, I beg your pardon. I apologize. I thought you were talking about the actual content of the spirituality itself, but you just mean the big organizations that don't pay tax, like mega churches, and so Democrats are responsible for Jim fucking Baker and Jimmy Swaggart and the Catholic priest conspiracy of pedophiles. That's our fault, right? Shit, that's not even the fault of little churches all over the place, dummy.
And seem to be human rights violators.
Seem to be? I don't know what he's talking about. Is he talking about the Catholic Church stuff, or is he talking about like the Canadian Catholic Church story? Or
so if you're a woman and you're Catholic, the Catholic faith is violating your rights as a woman to abort a fetus at any time.
Well, no, I think the point of it is that if you're not Catholic and you're a woman, it's violating your right to do that. Because if you're Catholic and you're a woman, in theory, you wouldn't have an abortion because you choose not to. Because from your religious point of view, it's a life, and you will choose to carry it to term because you will have that choice, and thereby you'll notice it's interesting because I don't know if you're aware of this, but God is pro-choice. That's why He gave us free will. Now you might burn in hell later, I suppose, for what you did, but while you're here, He gives you a wide range of possibilities.
That's the progressive line.
No, it's not. I don't know of any quote unquote progressives who are talking about how Catholic women need to fight back against the Catholic Church getting in between their ability to abort a child at any time, because even moderate Catholic women believe more than likely in, only in the first trimester, something like that. You know what I mean? It generalized kind of like a normal belief about when it should. This is just, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Diminish any kind of religion, any kind of judgments about right and wrong.
Sorry, you were saying something about radical Islamic terrorism or something. You were saying something about Islam and how it's inherently violent. Something, I don't know. Maybe I'm just remembering something you said around 9/11. Something, yeah.
Revisionist education. Get the urchins. Get them as young as possible.
Get the urchins. Yeah, that's how we talk. That's how progressives talk about children. We call them urchins.
All right, teach them about stuff they can't possibly understand. Trans, gay, whatever it may be. But also teach them that their country's evil. That George Washington...
This seems to... This went from him telling us the hidden forces behind progressivism, and now he's just kind of hitting these bullet points of right-wing bullshittery.
Washington was a slave owner, which he was, okay? But that wipes out Washington. He didn't do anything good.
I see. By the way, Bill wants you to remember his storied career in broadcasting and not pay any attention to the $33 million he had to keep a woman quiet because of sexual violence. I think this is a personal note for him.
Nor did Jefferson, nor did Abraham Lincoln. No, they're all bad. That's revisionist history. That's what progressives want in the schools, okay? We're evil.
Wait a minute. For the record, what do you mean we're evil? None of my chat room put you in the same category as George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and fucking Abraham Lincoln, asshole. What do you mean we? Motherfucker, you.
And then the minorities. So the progressives need to have the minority vote, and they have it.
Yes, by, I suppose, addressing their needs and trying to make life better for them and fighting for an equal chance for everybody so that nobody starts with a head start that didn't earn some whatever.
They have it because they sell black people and other minorities that the white racist power structure is hunting them down and hurting them, keeping them down, keeping them on the plantation.
Actually, that's language I hear from the Blacks for Trump guys. They use that language about the Democratic Party, for the record. Everybody else doesn't talk like that.
And a number of African Americans absolutely believe that, and it ties into the progressive district attorneys that won't enforce the law because it's not the fault of the black criminal that he or she is hurting another American. It's society's fault. But we're not putting them in jail. We don't care if they sell heroin. We don't care if they hold up a bodega with a gun. They're not going to jail because not really their fault. It ties in.
It does it now? Yeah. It ties into, he's got to wrap this up at some point.
With this, blacks and other minorities are persecuted by the American system, so therefore they shouldn't be punished for any crimes at all.
Yeah, that doesn't go very far. I'm sure there are some fringe activists who think that way, but again, Trump was trying to run to the left of Biden because of the crime bill, and it didn't fucking work. This is the same shit. This is the same stupid, it seems most of all like people like Bill, their biggest fear is that minorities will get a toehold where they can actually shine, where they can actually just be their best self at some point, which should be the entire goal of this country for everyone who's a citizen, that you should be able to make the best of your life that you possibly can with nothing holding you back around your race, color, or creed, because that's the concept the country was based on. However flawed in the beginning, that's what it was written into it, even if it wasn't, and no one at the time was even sure it would take off, and that you would even be able to institute it. They were like, this is our best bet on this. This is our best shot going forward. Eventually, we think we're going to get there. Let's start here. And if we lay the groundwork, we'll eventually get there. And his fear is that we are.
All right, the next one is the economy. Now, this is big.
Yeah, it's a huge, big economy. It is $26 trillion.
So progressives want a socialist economy.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Yes, please tell us.
It's not communism.
Okay, thanks for clarifying.
I get a lot of mail. Communist.
I get a lot of mail. Communist. This is Bill O'Reilly. I just want you to know he's read your emails. He hears you.
Communism is forcibly taking property, private property. That's what Castro did. It's what Mao did. It's what Stalin did. Every communist.
Yeah, but Stalin did it as a socialist. Like, he specifically said, you can't get to communism but through socialism. They did it as an act of socialism, but continue.
Country takes.
Hikira says, I'll take anything but capitalism. No, you won't. You're only saying that because you live nestled in capitalism. And again, that word's overused. It doesn't quite reflect on, on what we actually have. It's more like marketism, but whatever.
Your house, takes your property, takes your bank account. Socialism is different. Socialism is a big government which has all the power. So the states don't have any power.
So they can just take whatever they want?
The Washington, D.C. government tells the corporations what they can and can't do.
Well, I mean, you guys set guidelines. I don't think that's, they don't, no, socialism would be directing them to create, the government says we need more wheat, you stop growing corn, you start growing wheat. That's what it is.
No free marketplace. Okay? Wages, this is what you pay. Prices, this is what you can charge. All kinds of regulations on everything. That's
no.
Socialism. Okay?
This is his definition. Again, we're going with his definitions. This is the definitive Bill O'Reilly.
That's what progressives want. And then finally, they want the United States not to be the world superpower. They want us to be like every other country.
No, they don't. No, I think they would, in theory, want us to be better than every other country. They just have a different idea of what that better looks like.
So Uganda and the USA, the same.
Huh. Is anybody else struck by which country he chose and why he would particularly balk at America being on the same baseline as that country? He didn't pick Scandinavia. He didn't pick France, right? Fucking Uganda. Oh, and I'm drinking a ginger ale. It's this Fever Tree ginger beer. It's Summer had it, and I wasn't that thirsty. These are teeny bottles, so it was good. It's ginger ale. It's lovely. Just sipping. It's the kind that has ginger floating in it. It burns a little bit when it goes down.
This is called the one world philosophy.
Well, technically speaking, we only do have one world right now.
Progressives love that. We shouldn't have any kind of power here. We should give it all up and be a one world concern.
We should give it all up and be a one world concern. Yes. So it's the goddamn hippies.
So when you add all of that up,
we get a big zero in the middle of in between your ears.
All of these things that I've just told you.
You didn't tell me anything. You asserted things that are written on a piece of paper because you're a lonely, sad, disgusting man.
This is a horrendous circumstance.
Yes, me having to listen to you, I agree.
Do you think most Americans understand that?
Well, you got me there. I don't think I think it's beyond understanding, as most gibberish is.
Do you think that most Americans understand?
No, most Americans do not walk around under the assumptions that you have laid out as the definitions of said things and the trajectory of life and the country. No, they do not operate under those at all.
Understand that Joe Biden is a pawn of the progressive movement?
Oh, so he's an innocent victim of it. I would. You should call him up and see if he needs any help.
All of the things the progressive want, Biden is trying to implement. All of them.
All of it. Everything. Except the defund the police thing. That's the Republican thing now.
You think they understand that? They don't. Unless they watch the No Spin News and listen to.
Okay, then they definitely don't. Because literally no one does. I swear to God, I think sometimes when I tune into the, like, I see these clips, I'm like, yeah, dude, you have, he's got millions of dollars. Even after he spent all that, God knows how many fucking NDAs this asshole has. But he has millions of dollars to spend on his little channel and do whatever the fuck he wants. You know what I could do with $1 million a year PR budget around something like this? Jesus Christ, I'd get sick of seeing me on TV. Right? And my fonts and typefaces would be fucking rock solid. They already are. I mean, that's a good font for me. It's adorable.
Me. The chairman of the Fed is promising more.
Oh, fuck you. And then he goes right into a gold ad. You got to convince me that wasn't just a gold ad, the whole fucking thing. Yes, I'm going to buy 666 Fifth Avenue. It's going to happen. Just understand, because I can't even fit anybody in here with a shoehorn. That's right. You know? Just like, this is one of the... Right. It's like the laziest, dumbest take